Hi and welcome to this reading. Today's reading I'm pulling through a song. It's Glory from the movie Selma, and it's been playing over and over and over in my head for the last, I'd say, 2 days. So I've come to pull some cards on it. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. A bit about me first. I'm an intuitive tarot reader. I pick up on energy prior to a reading, usually in the form of channel messages through songs. As I was doing the pre-shuffle, the Justice card wanted to reveal itself. And there is a frog in my pool. There is a frog swimming around in my pool. Just 1 second. Now, in the 12 years since we've had our pool, I've never, ever seen a frog in my pool. And what he's actually doing is he's swimming across and he's rested in the middle of the pool on the cable for my creepy crawly, which is the cleaner of the pool. Now, why I paused was I wanted to look up this spiritual meaning of a frog, because animals appear for a reason. It obviously has significance to this reading, and he's just reached the other side. In many cultures, the frog is associated with themes of transformation, fertility, and rebirth. For instance, in ancient Egyptian mythology, the frog was considered a symbol of fertility and new life, as it was believed to emerge from the waters of the Nile during the annual flood, signifying the renewal of the land. Frogs are the ultimate symbol of change. Metamorphosis. Okay, perfect. Well, that aligns with the reading. The other thing that I have is a tiny moth, like a moth to a flame, that's just sitting on the window where I'm doing this reading. So I'll go back to where I was. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I pick up on energy first, and then I come and use my tarot and oracle decks to further clarify the messages that I am receiving. All the decks that I use on my channel are my own designs because I'm also an illustrator. So if you're called to any of those, the links to them can be found in the description box. He's just come off the side of the wall. He's gone back into the middle of the pool, and he's literally like a starfish, like he's on summer vacation, just lying there. I've never seen anything like that. Well, not in my pool anyway. How interesting. Transformation. Now, I'm going to get to the messages that were coming through. So I was getting the song Glory from the movie Selma, as I mentioned. If you haven't watched that movie, and it's been a long time since I watched it, it premiered on the 11th of November. Now, today in Australia, it's the 12th. It may still be the 11th in other places in the world, because we obviously, for many of you, are a day ahead. But it premiered on the 11th of November 2014. 10 years ago, sorry. If I said 20, I can't remember. It was viewed on Christmas Day in 2014 as a soft launch, and then it came out fully in the January of 2015. So that date may be of significance to you. What were you doing in January 2015? Because on March 20th, 2015 was the 50th anniversary of the real life events that happened that were depicted in that movie Selma. So March 2025 will be the 60th anniversary. The line from the song that I was getting, one day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. One day when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. The movie is about voting rights, African American voting rights, and how the circumstances that happened in the lead up to people of color in America being included or given permission to vote. The movie was themed around Martin Luther King, freedom, revolution, and civil rights. So that's the themes that I'm picking up on. And often when a song comes through, it's because there are things that are playing out in the collective where people aren't being given a voice. And it could be in your home, in your workplace, within your family, within your circle of friends, within a relationship that you have with a parent or a boss, in a school, in the apartment building where you live. But essentially, you are not being given a voice. You're not being given a voice, you're not being allowed to speak. So it could be multiple things. Either you're not being given a voice, you're not being allowed to speak. And even if you are being allowed to speak, your voice doesn't hold the weight of the people around you. Because that was the thing in that movie. They held an opinion, but it wasn't deemed to be as valuable as white society at the time, and therefore didn't warrant the privilege of it being heard. So if this is something that's happening in your life at the moment, these are the cards that have come out in the pre-shuffle. The Two of Pentacles, which is Jupiter in Capricorn. A juggling, a weighing up, a choice. I want to say two different options, but one option's being taken away from you. And then we've got the Six of Wands, which is Jupiter in Leo. Victory after a long battle. And this is a guy who goes away to war. Everybody thinks that he didn't return. Something's happened to him. He's not coming back. And then all of a sudden he rides into town. In that movie, they marched from one town to the next. They actually marched twice. They marched the first time and were met by the riot police. So people actually saying, Jupiter is your fate. It's the Wheel of Fortune. People trying to stop what's your fate. People trying to stop a revolution. Freedom, revolution, civil rights. To stop what is meant for you. As I said, they thought he died. They thought he was long gone. If you suppress somebody enough, hold their head underwater long enough is what I want to say, then you just assume that they're not going to ride back into town. Well, they did in that movie. They marched a second time, valiantly marched a second time, and they were let through. And I'm not sure how long, but in the subsequent days, months, it was passed that they were allowed to vote. Which is just disgraceful to think that that was only 60 years ago. Absolutely disgraceful. Okay, let's get some more information. See if we can get you some guidance. If this is a situation that you are in at the moment, where somebody is controlling you, controlling your speech, your ability to speak. How would they be? Let's get some cards. This is my Divine Messages Oracle deck. Let's see what Spirit has for you. Tying up loose ends. Are you tying up loose ends? Making changes? I know in that movie it was very dangerous what they were doing. There were a lot of people that lost their lives. There's potentially somebody who's tying up loose ends so that you can't. I think Martin Luther King's wife at the time, Loretta Scott King, I think is her, no, Coretta Scott King. She was receiving death threats. Somebody trying to stop you from having a voice. And why don't they want you to have a voice? Is what I want to know. I'm going to get further into that in the cards. Tying up loose ends. Maybe you're crossing all your T's and dotting your I's. Pushing forward, but you're meeting resistance. I'm going to get one more. I want to see what else. Patience and perseverance. That's this guy here. As I said, he went away to battle. He went away to battle. And then he came back into town. Patience and perseverance. One day when the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. One day, Six of Wands. Victory after a long battle. One day when the war is won, we'll be sure, we'll be sure. The thing is, once they actually got that vote, it can never be taken away. On the bottom, divine counterpart. Okay. This reading's just taken a twist. And take it if it resonates. We'll see what else comes out in the cards. Because I don't have any cups cards here, which would symbolize romance. But I'm picking up Napoleon vibes. Napoleon married Josephine and then marched off to war shortly after. And obviously back in the mid 1500s, he couldn't text to say, we're going to be a little longer than we thought. And they marched, well, in the first instance, they ended up in Egypt, and he came home early because he was worried she was having an affair. But he then marched the troops into Russia, and they got caught there because it was freezing. And a lot of them passed away. I'm getting two strands coming in, and I'm trying to work out if they're connected. Because then what happened is when he went to Russia, because the war was a disaster, he was exiled to St. Helena Island. I've actually got a reading about Napoleon and Josephine. He was exiled to St. Helena Island. And I want to say for 7 years. This all happened in a Pluto and Aquarius transit, which is why I've got a reading on it. And when he came back from there, she was unwell and passed away. But if you look at, when I was doing the research for that song Glory and the song Selma, and the movie Selma, because I hadn't watched that movie in a while, and just got a brief backstory. And it was the relationship between Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King, and her encouragement of, should we do the second march? Yes, you should do it. You know, that sort of thing. They were a team. Napoleon and Josephine were a team. Maybe what I'm picking up on here is voting rights and marches. Freedom, revolution, civil rights is why Napoleon was in power. The French Revolution happened. They got rid of the monarchy, and he was put as head of state to lead the people, to lead the French army in a revolution against Russia. Okay, but in that instance, it cost him his relationship. Because they got the victory, but maybe this is relationships that roll over. Something you've done with somebody in a past life that roll round, round, round. Fated connection that rolls through lifetimes, whereby you connect through circumstances around civil rights, human rights, freedom, revolution, which would make sense because we're about to go into the Pluto and Aquarius transit on the 19th. It's the 12th today. And it's things that you learn in each lifetime that you then put into play. Patience and perseverance, something that you've been learning for a long time. Okay, let's get some cards. Because I don't want to pigeonhole myself into one, but I'm getting two distinct. Okay, what angel is walking with you? Humabel, confidence on the bottom. 19, fulfillment, wisdom, and divine blessings. Number 19 is the Two of Cups. Yeah, it's a soulmate connection. Fulfillment, wisdom, divine blessings. It's a soulmate connection. Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King. A beautiful soulmate connection where they encouraged and supported each other. But it ended in tragedy, victory, after a long battle. But then he was assassinated. Wisdom, divine blessings. Maybe this has happened. It's happened in a past life. And this is a lifetime where you get fulfillment and the divine blessings. Okay, let's just get some cards. Because I was not coming into this reading thinking that it was a love reading. Okay, let's have a look at the energy around you at the moment. Ace of Swords. That's speaking your truth. As I said, the Justice card wanted to come out. Ace of Swords is Archangel Michael. Okay, what's your... If I were looking at you, what would I see? I wanted to come out there. I'm going to wait. If I was looking at you, what would I see? Two of Pentacles again. Jupiter in Capricorn. An opportunity to bring truth, an opportunity to speak truth. Which, as I said, would make sense because we've got the Pluto and Aquarius transit. And I've said before in previous readings, I believe our souls evolve each lifetime. And I do believe that this Pluto and Aquarius transit, which we are about to go in on the 19th of November, it's a 20-year transit. It happens every 250 years. Pluto brings big revolutionary change. 250 years ago, it was the American Revolution. It was the French Revolution. You go back through history, huge changes in history. Way back in a Pluto and Aquarius transit. And I've been saying for ages that I'm going to do an actual reading on it, and I will. It's just very information heavy, so it's getting the time to do it. But Pluto and Aquarius transit was the invention of libraries. In another transit, it was when printmaking of books began. Actually, that was the Pluto and Aquarius transit in the mid-1500s. The printing press, huge, big, revolutionary change. And I think maybe while I was pulling in Napoleon and Josephine is because we are now headed into a Pluto and Aquarius transit. But why I was pulling in Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King is because you, along with somebody that you are either connected already with or about to connect with or will connect with in the future, because this is the soulmate card. It could be a group of people. It may not necessarily be an individual. It could be a group of people that you are connecting with, pulling in that energy to make massive change. Martin Luther King. Two of Pentacles. You're the change maker. Capricorn, so that's Jupiter in Capricorn. Capricorn is what you build on. The systems, the structures that are already being built on. And Jupiter is luck. It's the Wheel of Fortune. It's revolution. It's change. You're about to change the fortune of people who are unfortunate within this structure that's being built on. Because you're standing up. As I said, we had the Justice card. Okay, it's coming together. Seven of Swords, deception in there. Okay, let's have a look at what's happening in your soul. What's sets your soul on fire in regards to this truth. That's the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so that's Saturn in Capricorn, which is lessons upon lessons upon lessons. This is the slowest moving night. Some sort of structure that has been in play, victory after a long battle, that's been in play for a long time, that you and somebody around you or a group of people around you will be part of changing. Okay, let's get a message from the man upstairs. Okay, hidden, and the Nine of Wands. That's the moon, which is Pisces and Neptune. Pisces is water. Neptune is deep, deep-seated change that needs to happen. And the Nine of Wands is the moon again in Sagittarius. It's not giving up. It's the final push. Look, he's having a little rest before he gets up for the final push. One day when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. One day when the war is won, one day when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Okay, what's the outcome? The Five of Cups. Mars in Scorpio. But the Five of Cups is 3 broken cups down, which is things that emotionally, people that you're tied to, systems that you're tied to, that have been emotionally unfulfilling, this way of being. Well, we've got the Two of Cups there. So I see that card as opportunity, because number 5 is change. There's an opportunity for change. The Emperor on the bottom. The North Node currently is in Aries. The Emperor is the card that symbolizes Aries. This change won't happen, and unless somebody stands up. Okay, let's get some more information on Page of Pentacles. That's the card of the student. On this truth. Something... Five of Pentacles on the bottom, which is being left out. I want to say here that maybe you've been doing research on past people in history, past change makers in history. Why do we have the frog though? The Frenchman. Maybe. Am I reaching? Never seen a Frenchman in my pool. I don't know why I just said that. Interesting at the moment, the French have just done a big backflip. They were pro one side in the Middle East, and now they've just done a big flip. Now that has to do with freedom, revolution, and civil rights, human rights. Interesting. Things that you've learnt. Okay, what else on this Ace of Swords? Six of Swords. But it came out sideways, so it's a reluctance. It's a reluctance for change. Not a reluctance, it's a reluctance by the people whose minds you want to change. You're doing research about how to change people's minds. That's the slowest moving movement card. It's like rafting down a river. it takes time. The Knight of Pentacles, Saturn in Capricorn, lessons after lessons after lessons that you've got to learn. Okay, let's have a look at this. Jupiter in Capricorn. I think this reading is about, I almost feel like, that was the Five of Swords that wanted to come out, which is going backwards. I almost feel like I'm in your brain. Like this is your map and you're planning out your attack. Patience and perseverance, tying up loose ends. Because maybe like in that movie, you've got one chance. And I was just thinking about, if you've ever watched Napoleon, the movie, and I can't pronounce his name, the one with Joaquin Phoenix in it. When they went to Russia, they had all these grand illusions of marching the army in and taking over one of the cities, and I can't remember which city it was, but the Russians had jumped the gun and stole that victory from them by burning the city to the ground. Jupiter and Capricorn, you want to be, Jupiter is luck. You want to win. But it's taking time. Okay, let's have a look. Ten of Swords, yeah. And rode into the city. And that was what, when Napoleon came back to Paris, he was not dethroned, he was removed from his role. The Ten of Swords, Sun in Gemini. It's got this feeling of dotting all your T's and crossing all your, dotting all your T's. Dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's. Okay. Hermit, which is where I split the deck. Going back to the drawing board. The Hermit is somebody who goes away up to the top of a hill to get enlightenment, to work out a better plan of attack. As I said, in that Selma movie, they walked through the town first. I can't remember the name of the two towns. I think maybe one of them was Jackson or Jefferson. Was one of them Selma? Selma to Jefferson? They walked through the first time and they were met with resistance. And they were beaten up and they had tear gas and armed police. And then they had to go back to the drawing board, which is where he was talking to Coretta about, should we go again? And she was saying, yeah, I think you should. And so they marched back through. And what actually happened was, as they came across the bridge, the police actually just pulled back and let them march through. So they got their victory, but they suffered a loss first. Okay, what else? The Lovers. That's Gemini. Mercury, Gemini. Ten of Swords is the Sun in Gemini. Gemini is the twins. Ding, ding. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Two sides of a coin, two sides of an argument, two different approaches, I want to say. Okay, Nine of Pentacles. This is where it's taken a long time. Yeah, Nine of Wands. Again, almost at the end. The final push, the last charge, the Ace of Pentacles and the King of Cups. Now, the King of Cups is Neptune in Pisces. Okay, rightio. What's happening beneath the surface here? So this is what's happening on a surface level. What can people see? People can see that you've maybe given it one shot prior and it's not worked out. You've gone away, licked your wounds, and then you're coming back again and give it another go. But here, the King of Cups is a king who holds a big cup of love but doesn't necessarily express it. So think of a stoic grandfather, or somebody who you'd have to know them really well to really know what they were thinking. You're holding your cards close to your chest or close to your vest. In this instance, you've learnt from past mistakes that coming up against whoever this person is, or you will learn if it's something that is, my readings are timeless, past, present, future energy. You could have already experienced this. Learning that in order to get the divine blessing, and we had that under here, I think, divine blessing, fulfillment, wisdom. In order to get the divine, actually that's perfect, wisdom, the card of the student. In order to get the divine blessing, you've learned from past mistakes in how you deal with this particular person, people, individuals, workplace, family, friendship group, whoever this is. Perhaps you had two different options, and maybe one was visible on the outside, and maybe now one is in stealth mode, King of Cups, in order to get the divine blessing. And in that Napoleon movie, he was exiled on that island. So many synchronicities in that reading. If you are one for synchronicities, just crazy things, names and loads of synchronicities in that reading. And in history, that all intertwine. If you're into that sort of thing, have a look at that reading. It's like, I was mind blown. But Napoleon, so it's seconded. A ship came to the island that he was exiled to, and he basically took over the ship, turfed off all the crew, and left the island before his exile had finished in order to get to Josephine. But it was too late. Something that you have to do in order to get some sort of divine justice, a divine blessing for yourself, for people around you. As I said, it could be a soul family coming in that you will work with in order to create change for people around you who are having their human rights violated, civil rights violated. Message from the man upstairs. What else can we get? Oh, goodness. Okay, Three of Pentacles. Where was that before? Two of Pentacles. So we've got movement here. Emperor. Three of Pentacles, Emperor, and Page of Swords. This is you as the Emperor here, but I think this is somebody around you that's putting restrictions on, maybe keeping you suppressed. In that movie Selma, it was the government refusing them the ability to vote. With Napoleon and Josephine, it was somebody who made the decision to exile him to that island, so they couldn't communicate with each other. But in a Pluto and Aquarius transit, if you look at the astrology wheel, the opposite of Aquarius, so Aquarius is for the people, it's human rights, it's the rebel. Napoleon seconded a ship so that he could get to the person that he loved. The rebel, the change maker. The opposite on the wheel of Aquarius is the Leo. That's the people in power, the governments, the monarchy in the French Revolution, who they had to remove. The lawmakers in Selma, that they had to challenge in order to change this structure, how things were being built. You've got to come up against an Emperor. The Page of Swords, which is the Sun in Gemini again, somebody you've come up against before. Knight of Wands, the final push. and the moon. Somebody you've come up against before, but now you're coming in with a different tact. On the down low, patience and perseverance. This is tactics. And actually Napoleon was, and that's where some of those tie-ins came in. He was an incredible tactician. He was meant to be the ultimate tactician of his time. He studied and studied and studied Constantine, who was a master tactician himself. And the irony was that when he got exiled, because his tactics is what lost him that war in Russia, when he got exiled to an island off the coast of Europe, he got exiled to an island called St. Helena Island, which was actually named after Constantine's mother, who was the patron saint of unhappy marriages. And the irony is that Napoleon and Josephine's marriage had disintegrated because he put his military career first. Napoleon actually means Leo the lion. He put his military career first and then got exiled to an island named after his military hero's mother, and she was the patron saint of unhappy marriages. Page of Swords here is just being a little, I want to say gun shy, just being a little gun shy, just being a little wary. Death on the bottom. Now that is Scorpio and Pluto, which is the Pluto and Aquarius transit, which is revolution, which is freedom. And the Nine of Pentacles, which is freedom. How funny that that cuts on that. Venus in Virgo, Mother Mary, St. Helena Island, his mother. Maybe you're freeing yourself from a mother. You don't get freedom when you're exiled to an island. Okay, let's have a look at this Five of Cups. This is the what's the outcome here? Emotional heartbreak sets you on a course to align with other people. That's the Two of Cups, soulmates, soul family, who are all wanting change and revolution as well. The Hierophant. So the Hierophant, so we got two fives here, change and revolution. The Hierophant is religious institutions, it's governments, it's financial institutions, it's big structures in your life. Cultural confines, outdated class settings where you are, you know, maybe you're up against people who don't want to facilitate any change to what has always been, is what I want to say. Family, workplace, friends, social settings, religion. That's a big one, religion. And you want to activate some sort of change. You're drawing on people from the past, stories from the past. Maybe you're watching movies. Maybe this reading gives you a bit of a nudge to go and watch Selma or Napoleon. The other one that was coming through in this prior to this reading was Hidden Figures. Now that's, well, in Australia at the moment, it's just started to pop up. It's just been released on Netflix. Again, that's about women. I think they were astrophysicists, but they weren't allowed. They were doing all the mathematical calculations for the astronauts, people on the space program, but nobody knew about it. These African-American women, incredibly intelligent women. But one, they were of color, and two, they were women. So they weren't allowed into any of the meetings, and they weren't allowed to use the same toilets. They weren't allowed to be in the same workroom. Some sort of big change that you're bucking the system. You're butting up against, but I want to say you've hit some stumbling blocks along the way, and so you're changing tack. And maybe changing tack aligns you with other people, and together you can push the system. The Hierophant is also a soul contract that you have with God in this lifetime, that you are meant to accomplish, that you are meant to go on certain paths, learn certain spiritual lessons, and then once you've learned those lessons, actually put them in play. And part of that is aligning with soulmates. So you've got a soul contract with the men upstairs, but you've also got soul contracts with these people. For example, Napoleon and Josephine had a soul contract. Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King had a soul contract, as they did with everybody around them within the movement they were in. Malcolm X, Magician on the bottom. One more here. Potential final outcome. The Six of Pentacles. That's the moon in Taurus. The supermoon, which is on the 15th. What are we today? The 12th. The supermoon is in Taurus. The moon in Taurus. Now that's balance. There's a set of scales on there. Equal give and take. Reciprocity. Equal give and take. 2 5s and a 6. Okay, what have we got on the bottom? And look at that, the 5 of Pentacles. Again, a 5. The 5 of Pentacles and Justice. I knew that. Did you see that trying to pop out? I'm going to put him there, because he was meant to come out. Justice is balance. That's scales. Justice is Libra. The 5 of Pentacles here is being left out. You're fighting for people in society, and it may be on a small scale, it may be on a big scale, that are being left out. The Emperor is Mars energy, Mars and Aries. Mars is the god of war, and we've got it here too. But you're going up against somebody who doesn't want the change, but you want everybody to be included. You might have a lot of Aquarius in your chart. Aquarius. Okay, let's get some advice for you. Joyous resolution and a maybe. Well, that's not nice. It's because it's still up in the air. Maybe you're going to get some divine intervention or information around this supermoon. The supermoon is basically when the moon is very close to the earth, and so it appears larger in the sky. It lights up the sky, lights up things that are dark. Moon here lights up things that are dark. Maybe you're going to get some assistance, some help. You are protected on the bottom. What else? Love is the greatest healer. Well, that's the thing. If you're fighting for people that are being treated poorly, you have empathy. Why did those police, at the second attempt when they were walking across that bridge, why did they fall back? Maybe because they had empathy. What have we got under here? 6 of... Maybe that's what it is. Perhaps in the beginning you were going in with a sword drawn, this is what we want approach. But maybe the approach, this hidden approach here, is to try and... Yeah, because remember I said the French were, I'm going to say it, the French were pro-Israel until Israel started bombing Lebanon. And there is a connection between France and Lebanon. And because things were then happening to people whose hearts were close to theirs, they then started to have empathy and change their tack. Overthinking hidden in plain sight. This reading has got me thinking. And often what happens is I'll finish reading and then I'll be editing it and I'm like, oh, and I'll work something out and I'm like, I can't put that in now. But that's okay, because I'm not meant to. Sometimes I'm only meant to get the beginning bits and then you're meant to piece things together. Okay, any other angel? Yeah. Gratitude and secret knowledge. If you do, please, if you do work something out, put it in the comments because I read them. 46, the Knight of Cups, which is the moon in Scorpio. Things that are hidden. Overthinking. I'm overthinking. That's what's happening. Overthinking, hidden in plain sight. The moon in Scorpio. Gratitude and secret knowledge. I'm not meant to know everything. My placement is the moon in Scorpio. I'm not meant to know it. I'm not meant to know everything. You're meant to put bits and pieces together. And obviously everybody's story is different. What other angel is walking with you? Humabel, confidence. 7, the Ace of Swords, which is here. Everybody's got their own truth. Whoa, Metatron, that's the Wheel of Fortune. The Celestial Scribe, Metatron is the big guy. He's the angel of all angels. He writes in the Book of Life. These changes that you are part of making, stepping in, standing up for other people, for truths, for people that are being mistreated, whether it's you or somebody else. It will be written in the Book of Life. It's a truth, 2 truths that need to be spoken, a justice. And maybe that's why we've got that maybe here. Because maybe the justice hasn't come through yet, hasn't prevailed. Because for it to happen, this truth needs to be spoken. Martin Luther King, before that big rally happened, he went and spoke to the president, and he'd just gotten the Nobel Peace Prize. So, you know, he's got a bit of clout, and he requested that they be allowed to vote, and he was told no. And then once that march happened, he went back again and asked, and they were given permission. Yeah, it's a dance, isn't it? Okay, let's get a moon oracle. Okay, that's a lot. Oh, these ones haven't come out in a long time. You can hear tippy tappy. That is my dog coming back into the room. Let the lunar quiz on commitment begin during the first quarter moon phase. Okay, how are you committed to this cause? Are you going to give up? We had the 9 of Wands there. Are you going to give up because you didn't get what you wanted the first try? That's what that's telling me. It's time to bid farewell to your cozy spot, North Node. Have a look where your North Node, if this reading resonates with you, have a look where your North Node is in your chart. Also have a look where Mercury falls in your chart, because Mercury is how you communicate. And do a bit of research in terms of how you communicate. But have a look where your North Node is, because your North Node is where your point of destiny is. New moon in Capricorn, all that hustle is finally cashing in. Whatever you're doing, it's working, but it may not have gotten you the results that you wanted in the first place or on the first try. Balsamic moon, the healing hour. Okay, let's get a card from my Nodes of Destiny deck. I just want one. North or South Node in the 3rd house. South Node chilling in the 3rd house, and the 3rd house is Gemini. Ace of Swords, how you communicate. Old habits die hard, especially if you've been besties with logic in the past. But hey, it's time to tune in to your gut feelings. Who knows, the future in teaching or spreading wisdom could be calling your name. It's like your cozy spiritual hangout, letting go of the old to make room for new adventures. Okay, so what that's saying to me is how you have been trying to communicate this truth, how you have been trying to change some sort of structure in your life that is causing pain, discomfort, people to be left out, people to be left out. Is that what I said? People to be left out, people to be left out. People to be excluded. How you have been actioning that, and potentially through logic hasn't worked, and so you've got to go back to the drawing board. As I said, have a look where your North Node is and have a look where your Mercury is in your chart. Let's get a song. Now, we did have Glory by Selma. See if there's anything else. This is love song, so it may not. Wow. Stand By Me, Benny King. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. You're meant to be doing this with other people. It's a group effort. Maybe, actually, maybe that's, potentially, you've been trying to do it by yourself. Create change on your own. And you're meant to be doing it. Two of Cups, that's a soulmate or soulmates. You're meant to be doing it with a group of people. You're meant to be marching across that bridge together. And you can see that happening in the world at the moment. Huge marches. Actually, that was something that Coretta Scott King said to Martin Luther King. You have to go as a group. Okay, I'm going to get you Scrabble tiles. Could be your first, middle, last initial, or that of somebody that you are dealing with. Is a little noisy, so I'm going to give it a shake. If you have hearing sensitivity, please turn down the volume. I'm going to shake it in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now we've got lots standing up. Okay, let's just do this. A U and a 1, an S and a 1, an O and a 1, an A and a 1, a C and a 3, an F and a 4, an N and a 1, oh, a Z and a 10, New Zealand, a T and a 1, an M and a 3, an R and a 1, an X. What did I say before? X? I said something, I can't remember. An XL, extra large, an L and a 1, and a K and a 5. I'm going to get you 3 final cards. Which deck do I want to use? I think I'm going to use this one. 3 final cards. Anything else that your guides want to tell you? Any other? Mini Libra. That's the 2 of Swords. As yet unknown is what I want to say. As yet unknown. The Tower. The Tower is Mars energy. The Tower is what you're trying to pull down. As yet unknown. The 4 of Wands. The things that you're tied to. And the 10 of Wands, that's a fire energy here. Saturn and Sagittarius, which is the end of a long battle. But this guy, look at him. He's carrying all that on his own. You're not meant to do it alone. Knight of Cups again. The Moon in Scorpio. Death and rebirth. It's hidden. The frog's just popped up in my pool again. He's swimming alone in the pool. I'm just getting you're not meant to do it alone. Overthinking, hidden in plain sight. What am I not seeing? I'm just going to get 3 of these. Now, these are love messages, but I want them as messages from your higher self because I want to know what I'm not seeing. Soul awakening. It's the cutest little frog. I'm ready to leave my old life behind. I want to make amends. That was Napoleon. I find myself dreaming about you. hidden feelings. Us, you're meant to do it with somebody. Stand by me. What else have I got? What else have I got? What else have I got? That's what I'm getting. You're not meant to do it by yourself. Okay, I'm not going to try and pull any more. I'm just going to leave this where it is. Thank you so much for joining me. If the reading resonated with you, give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you are called to any of my tarot or oracle decks, the links to those can be found in the description box. I will list the name of the movies in the description box if you want to check those out. There might be more messages in them for you. Also, the song that I pulled through, Glory, have a look at the lyrics in that. Maybe, I'm not sure if there's a music video, might be more lyrics, more messages in the music video for you. I'm just watching that frog. That's where I'm going to leave it. Wishing you a lovely rest of the day.